טוב, חג שמח. אני קודם כל רוצה להתנצל כי אני כתבתי את הנאום בשפה זרה, שפה אנגלית, אבל אני סבור ובטוח שאתם תזרמו איתי עם הקטע של האנגלית. My name is Mark Weiss, and I own one of the best Airbnbs in Jerusalem. Recently, I stayed in an Airbnb in North Tel Aviv, and I'd like to read you the review I left. I stayed in Razi's Airbnb in March 2018. The house was tastefully decorated, although there were strange posters in the rooms of Turkish Muslim clerics and American boxers. The hostess Tully and the two boys seemed very nice, but the host was really strange. He insisted on calling himself Razi even though his name is Richard. And he insisted on speaking to me in Hebrew even though I told him I preferred if he would speak to me in English. He speaks Hebrew with a thick American accent. I assumed he'd just arrived in the country. He told me he'd been here for 37 years. He talks a lot, but he speaks really slowly, with long pauses between the words. He often loses track mid-sentence and goes off on a totally different trajectory, forgetting what he started to tell me. He has the ability to waffle on for hours on insignificant issues. In Hebrew, they call this chofer, which means digger in English. For instance, I asked him about the neighborhood. Big mistake. It took him 38 minutes to explain that it should be called Ramat HaHayal or Ramat HaHayal. The truth was I didn't really care because I was only staying one night. Then he spent more than an hour telling me about his ailments. Back injuries, shoulder injuries, elbow injuries, leg injuries, running injuries, golf injuries, Pilates injuries, Donald Trump psychological injuries. Recently in America, he needed emergency medical treatment, costing thousands of dollars. The medical staff was so eager to get rid of him, they let him pay the homeless rate, $15, as long as he promised never to come back. I couldn't work out exactly what Razi does for a living. He told me that he used to be a photographer, but then he built a big house. And he said he became the only person in Israel to become his own Arab worker. I didn't really understand this, but I was afraid to ask. Anyway, he told me he couldn't really work regular hours because he had to watch American sports all night, every night. I still haven't found out what he does during the daytime hours. But the worst thing about this Airbnb was when we left the house to go somewhere. It took Razi 50 minutes just to leave. All the time he kept thinking of other things to do instead of actually heading towards the door and leaving. It was very frustrating, but I didn't want to say anything. Then Razi told me a really sad story. He plays a game called snooker with a group of friends, using 15 red balls on a 10-foot table. He used to be the best player and score more points than his friends. But over the last year, his game has deteriorated to such an extent that he now loses on a regular basis. He has now come to dread the snooker nights, when in the past he used to look forward to them. He's started travelling abroad almost all the time to avoid the snooker nights. But his friends insist on rescheduling during those brief periods when Razi visits Israel. And his game just goes from bad to worse. I was almost crying when he told me this story, and I felt really sorry for him, but there's nothing we can do. In an effort to bring some joy into his sad bastard life, Tully arranged a surprise party during one of Razi's rare visits to Israel. Let's hope it helps. Happy birthday, Razi. Chag Sameach.